Welcome back into another bonus episode here of Hockey Inside Out. As we move closer and closer towards the trade deadline, which Habs defenseman could be on the block that is most likely to be traded? Joel Edmundson, David Savard, or could we see a wild card and for Josh Anderson be shipped off now at the deadline for the Montreal Canadiens? Guys, what do you think will happen for this franchise moving with these three names?
I think Edmundson is probably the most likely of the defensemen to be traded. He's already shown what he can do in the playoffs, winning a Stanley Cup with St. Louis, and then he was part of the 4 Clydesdales when the Canadiens went to the Stanley Cup final there a couple of years ago. Big guy, can play physical, can be mean in the playoffs, hard to play against. Veteran, good guy in the locker room, the DJ in the Canadiens locker room, the players all love him, they all respect him. He's the kind of guy teams are looking for at the trade deadline. David Savard has played great hockey this year. He's been really, really good. He played a big role in Caden Gooley playing as well as he did as a rookie. I mean, Kent Hughes will listen to all offers, but the fact David Savard's a Quebec guy, he's a Francophone guy, and that's important to this team. I mean, remember what happened a couple of years ago when they played their first game ever without having a Francophone in the lineup in the front page of the Journal the next day and everything that happened there. I think David Savard's less likely to be moved. That's part of the reason, but also the fact he's been so good with Gooley, he's been so good with the young guys. I don't think they'd be in a rush to move him. With Josh Anderson, I wouldn't trade him. I mean, forwards like him, even though he's had more of a hard time fitting into Marty St. Louis' system and style he wants to play because he's more of an up and down guy. I wouldn't be ready to give up on him just yet. I think I would. If I was going to trade Josh Anderson, I might wait and see what happens the next trade deadline. He's on pace. He's going to score more than 20 goals, it looks like, this season with the Canadiens. He's that big body presence. Those guys are hard to find. The Canadiens, that's what Mark Bergevin said when he acquired them. It's hard to find those big, rugged wingers that go up and down. So I wouldn't be in a rush to trade Josh Anderson this season. I would wait and if you're going to move him, maybe move him next season. I don't think they need a rush to make that trade, if indeed they're looking to move him.
Well, I'm quite sure between Edmundson and Savard, there's going to be some interest, in these type of players, and if the deal is right, let's make a deal. It saved me jumping up and down in my room watching the games, not making the comment, "Why are those guys laying on the ice so much?" They're like doing the front crawl every time I look at them. But
you hate that play.
That being said, two quality guys that know how to play defense, block shots, show up every night, good veteran leadership. These are the type of individuals that teams that are in the big playoff crunch time want to acquire, and I'm sure that there will be some teams that will talk to Kent Hughes about their availability. Josh Anderson, I really liked the way he's improved his game as of late. He's brought a lot more consistency. He seems to be a little more in control in his overall game, from running around trying to smash guys through the glass versus, getting pucks with speed, getting to the net and being effective in causing a lot of problems on the opposition defense and just being tough to play against. So he's a quality guy that has good speed, good size, and that's an ingredient I think that is a big part of the Montreal Canadiens. So, that being said, stranger things have happened when push comes to shove down the stretch, that all of a sudden a name pops up and you end up, losing somebody that you didn't think you'd lose, but you acquire something else. So interesting time until March the 3rd. And like I said, Ken Hughes has got his plate full, and I'm looking forward to what he's going to do about it. Certain things.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time as we approach the trade deadline. I think Joel Edmundson is almost guaranteed to move on. The rumors are circling already. The insiders are talking about a possible 2023 first-round pick being the return because his stock is high. And I agree that I think he's been much, much better of late. He had a really rough start to the season. He's really picked it up. His mental game seems to be much stronger. And I think guys like him and David Savard, we can't underestimate how much of a good impact they're going to have on these young kids, how many rookies they have on this roster on defense. There's a play in the last game where Justin Barron was fronting against David Krejci, and Krejci he played him basically and got around him and got around his front and tipped the puck in for the second goal for the Boston Bruins. Things like that usually don't happen to veteran defensemen. So it's learning experiences that you get from the coaching staff, yes, but the veterans on your team that help you out going forward. So I don't think they can trade both him and David Savard. They need some of that veteran presence around to help these young kids. But I think Edmundson is pretty much for sure going to get traded. And Anderson, I feel like if he's going to get traded, it's a summer deal where teams have a little bit more cap space to work with. But a little bird keeps on whispering to me that the Calgary Flames are really, really interested in Josh Anderson. And in order to make that work, all that has to happen is Milan Lucic to go the other way. And that's the consistent thing that I keep on hearing, is that there's a possibility, however faint, that Josh Anderson ends up on the Calgary Flames and Milan Lucic goes the other way. And as much as I'm sure lots of Canadiens fans would throw up about Milan Lucic wearing the CH, if it ends up being like a top prospect, like Matt Coronado and a first-round pick, you move Josh Anderson.
Yeah, well, have to be more than Lucic coming back, that's for sure.
I'll say this, guys. All three players have term as we speak. All three guys were brought in by Marc Bergevin before he was let go. And if Milan Lucic ends up as a Montreal Canadian at the benefit they get Connor Bedard, I think that'll be A-OK, Andrew. That's the end result for the Habs moving forward here. That'll do it for this bonus episode here of Hockey Inside Out. Don't forget to submit your questions and comments, and we look forward to conversing about that on a future episode. Check out the YouTube page for all the Hockey Inside Out episodes, and sign up for the newsletter on MontrealGazette.com/newsletters. And finally, for bonus content and full episodes, check out Hockey Inside Out. On behalf of Andrew, Stu, and Rick, wish you a great week. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.